I'm Fox, Trismegistus Academy, episode 23, The New Mavericks, go.
Get back up from that, Maverick!
Ludum's words echoed across the arena
Eloise,
and shook on his body like an
what have you
earthquake.
done?
Kneeling in Jake's blood next to him, fire burst from Sterling's eyes, sizzling away his tears. Turning in the direction of the heinous voice, he burst off the ground and quickly spotted Ludum, barely conscious, wheezing, rubbing her neck, with only a couple of her stones floating around her. After her battle with Jake, she'd just barely regained enough consciousness to keep herself from hitting the ground. Sterling flew recklessly fast, but still, Ludum should have had time to teleport away, and she didn't. He tackled her and they rolled across the ground as he grabbed her arms, shoved them to her stomach, and had liquid metal emerge from his palms to stick her arms to her body. He then grabbed her by the neck with one hand and made a blade form over his other.
What's the matter, Silver Boy? Did I make you grumpy by splattering one of your little pets? I dare you to say more, Ludum. Say one more word and give me a reason to cut your head off right now.
Sterling yelled,
Yes.
knowing Alexis was watching, knowing he'd promised her he'd never kill anyone again, but unsure if he could keep that promise today.
Oh, well, that's
Come down to
heroic
it,
talk, isn't it?
Mother
I can
of-
see why you had to send the boy to Softy Academy, or else he might have ended up just like you, so easily riled up by the words of a poor, defenseless headman.
Ludum's words cut
Yes.
off, but Sterling hadn't done anything. Both he and Eloise looked down to see Anna standing next to them both, with her hand phased inside Ludum's chest.
Oh!
Anna's breath was held, but it seemed like her hand was gripping Ludum's heart. Ludum was shaking and twitching, but still, she forced out more words.
Yes.
What is it? Fishy? Did I rip out your heart by pancaking your boy toy? Now you want to rip out mine?
Oh.
Maybe.
Oh, no. Ripping your heart out would be too good for you. Instead, it's gonna be slowly squeezed and crushed until it pops like a blood-filled water balloon still inside you.
Anna spoke. Sterling's body froze hearing Anna take a breath, but her hand didn't seem to unfaze. Anna paused herself, looking down at her arm still in Ludum's chest. Then she said,
But that's what you want, isn't it? You know you're beaten. Even if you survive today, you know you'll never have the same power in this life that you've been using to torture people for centuries. You want us to kill you so you can reincarnate, start a new...
Crap, right, I actually forgot about that. Yeah, if she dies, she just gets reincarnated into another body. She has to be trapped in a permanent prison. Hey, Preston, do you got a black hole? Let's toss her into that. It won't kill her.
life and go on hurting people again.
Other members of the Sharp Gang were gathering up around Ludum, Anna, and Sterling, though Anna barely noticed. Tears were rolling down her face, yet she was nearly expressionless, as Ludum said,
Well then, let me live. Either way, I win. If you let me live, no matter what you do, no matter what of mine you...
Hey, does anyone object if we cut off our arms and legs? No one? Good. And let's take her overseer powers as well. Accept immortality. Let her live with nothing.
strip away, I will eventually regain my influence and control. It's what I do. I've done it in every life I've lived, and I will keep doing so. This moment is an infinitesimal blip in my grand existence.
No.
God, you're
Anna
terrible,
said
little.
plainly.
If I trust Dresden to do anything, it's to keep you locked up. We have an Archon on our side helping. She can take away your overseer powers.
Yes.
You'll stay locked up in the RAS Foundation, so you can't move on to a new life. But I know, even with just your voice, you can still hurt people in this one.
Take her vocal cords. Take her vocal cords. Reach into her neck. Grab her vocal cords and rip them the hell out. Yes.
You can say horrible things. cruel things to other patients and people trying to help them. You can make that place worse just by being there. Which is why I don't think you should get to leave here with your tongue.
What?
That walks as well.
Excuse me, what does that mean, you little urchin?
That walks
Anna
as
pulled
well.
her hand out of Ludum.
I don't have the stomach to do something like that myself, but you've made a lot of really tough people really mad.
Fuck yeah.
Anna turned and started walking back towards Jake's body.
I'm sure one of them will be willing to remove it.
Anna didn't watch. She kept walking away, but had noticed a few people moving in as she heard Ludum's shrieks of protest. Anna never even learned who did it. She thought Kate, maybe Goggins, but never knew for sure.
Honestly, yeah, it would be just great if, like, all of them did it. I'm like, they each just took a small piece of a tongue until it was nothing.
Anna hoped she'd enjoy hearing Ludum's furious yelling turned into garbled, incomprehensible, pained groaning as the ability to speak was ripped from her. But she couldn't.
Whatever.
The other
Good
Mavericks had gathered up around Jake's body. Anna suddenly spotted Waru, running over, pulling the shattered fragments of Jake's gem out of the withered husk of what was left of his severed arm, having fallen into the arena a short ways away. He shoved people aside and got to his knees, dropping the 5 pieces of the gem on Jake's chest.
Come on, do something, you stupid rocks! I'm not having another kid's death on my hands.
Oh,
The shards
man.
of the gem did nothing.
Capri, dude, you made the gems. Help us, Capri. Here, Leonis, if that was your name, I forget it. But still, one of you guys, you made the gems.
They just sat there.
Come on!
Tale set a stoic hand on his shoulder. Waru, this is not your fault. It was...
How do you know? I left the orbs in him for way too long. I knew I should call them out, but I couldn't see him. I thought he... Wait, where's... Off screen.
Alex was standing a short way
Hey.
back from the body, staring, shaking himself. Waru stood up.
I can't revive.
Do
the
something.
dead.
Fix this. Take Jake's body off screen and do something.
I don't think
You don't think what? I thought you could do anything when you're off screen. So why didn't you kill Ludum when you were off screen? Why didn't you kill the Archons? Why didn't you stop this?
I mean, when I say anything, that doesn't actually mean anything.
Seriously? Then what good of...
I mean,
He dropped
he
to
was
his
so
knees
majorly
again.
helpful.
Sorry. I'm sorry. Not...
Anna reached the others and stopped. She tried to just focus on Jake's face. He'd landed on his back and his face was largely uninjured.
Damn.
The rest of him, she didn't want to remember him like this. Children, if you wouldn't mind making some room. The calm
Madam
voice of
Trismegistus.
Evangeline Trismegistus spoke as she walked up behind them. They cleared a way for her and she knelt down. Anna's heartbeat started to pick up.
Can you save him? Can you bring him back?
Evangeline didn't answer. She started waving her hands over Jake's body. Her
Resurrection
expression
is
was
not
calm,
impossible.
but Anna could see while her hands were moving gracefully, they were also ever so slightly shaking. When her movements slowed, a very faint golden light in the center of Jake's chest started to illuminate. The same, though much brighter, happened to Evangeline. Nobody spoke out of fear of interrupting what she was doing, but they all desperately wanted to know. Evangeline's eyes
Is this
glazed
gonna
over
work?
light and she closed them. She just sat like a statue for a moment, before an exasperated sound burst from her. Tears started rolling down her face. Anna couldn't keep quiet anymore.
What, headmistress? What are you doing? What's happening?
Yes, please talk.
Well, life sometimes rewards our bravery in very unexpected ways. Everyone, please breathe slowly.
Anna did as instructed, and all the other Mavericks tried to do the same. A white light enveloped them
Okay.
all, and Anna couldn't see anything. Her body felt weightless. The forms of Evangeline and the other students slowly came into clarity in the white void, but they were all standing together now, facing in the same direction. Anna turned to look where they were,
Okay.
and she saw Jake. He was uninjured, had both his arms, but was bawling, and his head was tucked down. Anna wanted to run over
Jake.
to him, but her body wouldn't move.
it
Evangeline
his
calmly
spirit?
spoke.
We cannot interact with him from here. We can only observe. But that is enough.
Oh.
Watch closely. Let the full scene emerge.
Anna still wanted to try moving toward him anyway, but the longer she looked, the more she saw. Jake was crying, but he had a huge smile on his face. His arms were out in front of him, wrapped around someone. As the figure came into
hugging
clarity,
someone.
Anna realized, well, she'd never met him before, Jake had shown her pictures of his brother,
Oh.
Mason. Mason fiercely hugged Jake back, and soon, coming into view next, were both Jake's parents, their arms bound around the two boys as well. Mason said,
I'm sorry we're not there to be a part of it, but your life has been so freaking cool to watch, Jake.
his father added.
Family
We could not
reunion.
be more proud of everything you've done.
His mother said,
You've worked so hard, but you can rest now if you
Aw.
want.
As she said that, Anna's vision glazed over white again, and soon she was back, standing around the other Mavericks in the arena, before Jake's mangled body.
I'm so sorry,
He
students.
has passed on.
I couldn't hold us all out there any longer.
Anna set a hand on Waru's shoulder, and he got that she wanted him to move.
There it
He
is.
did, and she knelt down beside Jake. Acting instinctively, she closed her eyes, leaned over, and pressed her forehead to his.
Jake,
Huh.
I want you to come back so bad. My dad's gone. My mom never cared about me. And you made me feel like I had a family again. But I'm also happy that you can be with yours now. I don't know if you can hear me, but
Oh. This is so
I'll
sad.
be okay if you want to stay with them now.
No, it's a two-piece. Okay.
It felt really peaceful out there. So, like your mom said, you can rest now.
Sterling choked on his tears,
Oh.
now standing behind Anna. He knelt down, shaking. He hadn't gotten to see the moment the others had. A loud clanging rang across the arena as Kate smashed her sword furiously against a stone, with tears splashing off her face as she did. Alexis still just floated above the scene, motionless, staring in terror. All the Littles were gone. Eloise had been taken away to Tehran's dimension to have Toralei remove her overseer powers. But no one could enjoy the victory. That is,
A life
until the
lost.
gem fragments on Jake's chest started to faintly glow. Anna raised her head and
Wait.
stared at them, almost convinced that her wishful thinking was making her see things. The hole where Jake's arm had once been started to glow green. The wound
Oh.
began to seal over with skin. The gem fragments rolled off him to the side of his missing arm,
That kinda
and they
fucks.
began to float. A series of veins emerged from them, reaching from one fragment to the next, and up to Jake's shoulder. A translucent, glowing form of an arm constructed by streaking green lines appeared.
He's actually
With Jake's
coming
eyes
back?
still closed, the arm raised and placed itself on his own chest. His entire body started to glow green, and all wounds across him began to...
No, it's not that he's coming back. It's that the crystal. I kind of forgot. But didn't Coppery say that the crystals were sentient living creatures or something like that? The crystal, the crystal is reviving him. But I probably see a downside about the crystal ends up using its own life force to revive him. So, Crystal becomes useless. Jake can no longer heal, but he'll be back. He'll be alive.
Blows.
Oh,
The
please
tears
let me be
started streaming
wrong
down
about the
faster
crystal
from
breaking.
everyone around Jake as his body got back to almost normal, save for the now glowing figure of his arm constructed by the gems. The light dimmed and his gem-formed arm dropped gently to his side. Nothing happened for a moment. Then Jake's nose wrinkled. His eyes slowly opened, and
He's
he looked
back!
at everyone around him.
This is probably a weird thing to say, but thanks for not catching me, because it was really nice getting to see my family again.
Oh!
Anna dropped onto
Yes!
Jake, wrapping herself around him, still crying and shaking. Jake whispered to her,
I'm so sorry, Anna. That was probably really scary. But if it helps at all, my parents and Mason said they've been watching, and
They really like you. They're really glad we get to be there for each other.
Yes!
Sterling wanted to jump in and hug Jake too, but he let Anna have her time. He and Kate ran to each other and hugged tightly to hold themselves over until...
Okay, so the crystal didn't break. That's good. The crystal was able to revive him. That's great. Downside, Jake forever has an energy arm, which is not always a downside, as long as it can feel and touch.
they got their moment with Jake. Everyone who wasn't already close sprinted and flew over to see Jake, awake and alive.
Dog pile
When Anna was
hug!
done hugging him, Darwin said through his own tears, "I really didn't think you were getting up this time, bud." Jake laughed.
Of course I am. We Mavericks always do, right?
He
Yes!
raised his head, but clearly couldn't actually get his body up yet. Alcaya tapped his forehead to set it back down on the ground.
We do, but, sometimes we just need a minute.
He laughed and stopped trying to get up. Evangeline transported him back to the school's health center, and most of the Mavericks, even some of the LAFF students, stayed there with him, talking, laughing, and getting each other caught up on everything that had happened that day.
Oh my
With
god.
the danger finally gone, they could all celebrate the fact that they had done it. It may not have happened anywhere
Eloise Ludum has been defeated!
close to how it was planned, but the Mavericks, with help from their LAFF friends, had finally managed to defeat Eloise Ludum for good.
You know, this actually also shows that Hope Howell doesn't actually need her to hold her breath. She just has to concentrate.
Wow, well, Popgrass really had me going in the first half there. I thought Jake was actually going to be dead-zo for good-zo.
Benny, you're not even wrong, my brother. I thought as well. Boom, Jake dead. Nothing can be done. And
Nice of him to not kill the kid off. So why don't we thank him by buying one of Popgrass's coloring books and novels?
So glad
you're
he's
doing
not
yourself
dead.
a favor, not him, because the books are so great. There's so much cool stuff to color in the Dragons coloring book, the Fantasy Beasts one, the Demons one, and there's so much awesome finished artwork and stories in the novels. Plus, Mytho Lethal and Vigilance is both getting spin-offs and sequel series soon, so if you haven't read them or watched them, it would be a good way to catch up on both of those. Both his Amazon and Blurb bookstores are
That
linked in the
is
description.
nice.
Check them out now if you feel like, but either way, we're wrapping up the rest of the story now.
The next week saw a lot of adjustments for the Trismegistus Academy.
alright, okay, so time skip of 1 week, 7 days.
The LAFF students who had helped defeat Ludum were all offered places at Tahe. Unfortunately, not all of them were accounted for. She may not have been willing to join the school anyway, having been a spy for Tarsa, but Khalida Jackal had disappeared near the end of the battle and hadn't been seen again. The LAFF students
Kinda
would
saw
have a
that
lot of
coming.
work to do, healing through the fear, fury, and aggression instilled in them at Ludum School, so they weren't put in the same class as the Mavericks. The class, made up of Waru, Tale, Asphage, Shinobu, Vinda, Sammy, Oliver, and even off-screen, was tentatively being
Nice.
called the New Mavericks. Waru liked the name Dark Mavericks, but that sounded, a little dark.
Yeah.
Jake and his class were
Very
going to act
edgy.
like upper years to that class, so they'd still interact plenty as time went on. Alcaya was made the main ambassador between classes, since she'd been the first LAFF student to come to Tahe.
Perfect.
So, you are gonna stick around? Alcaya asked, sitting with Tale and Waru under the shade of a tree, with Val lying next to her. Was killing the little Conus not enough glory for you to head home? Alcaya joked to the young god queller. It was, and I suppose I should go and visit my family at some point, but I'd like to see how this whole new Maverick situation plays out. Now that my identity has been revealed, I've had a chat with Ares, and he said that my family is aware of my location and will be happy to have me back as soon as I see fit. And I do not see fit yet.
That's
I'm
nice.
sure the new Mavericks could use my positive influence to keep them in line. Waru gave her a sideways glance. Oh yeah? There's no other reason you're sticking around? She smirked. Not that I can think of, she joked before giving him a kiss on the cheek. Suddenly, Val sprang up and ran over to a figure approaching. Val nuzzled up against Dresden, who scratched
Hey,
the creature's
Oakland.
chin as he came up to the resting students. I do not mean to interrupt, but Ms. Lamani, would it be all right if I had a quick word with you in private? Tale and Waru looked at her uncertainly, but she just nodded. They walked away and she got up. Val came back over to her and...
Oh, so that's what happened. Okay, so yeah, the power from Waru was too much for the gym, causing it to shatter and break. Thankfully, that didn't actually kill the crystal. Well, Waru had moved them to place on his chest to see if they could take or do anything, but they apparently could, just not there. So they kind of formed a new skeleton of his arm. Huh. Okay.
Alcya rested an arm on the creature's back.
I like this a lot.
I apologize for bringing up a painful subject, but, well, I don't believe you stated as much in our first confrontation. It was brought to my attention some time ago that you had an interaction with your sister, Delilah, moments before she passed, correct? Yeah, she died from her wounds in my arms. What about it? Alcya asked, some anger and sadness coming up, but not nearly as much as in the past. Well, when I did what I did to the Overseers, I did so in the universe that I oversaw at the time,
Yeah,
which
the
was
SCP
locked,
universe.
so none of them could escape. That caused me to question how you could have seen her after I detonated back cells with the Overseers inside. I did some investigating, frankly hoping that I would discover that I had not truly been the one to kill Delilah after all.
And you found
Not
out?
that it would have changed what I did to many others who likely did not deserve it, similar to your sister. Okay, so
What did you
figure
find
it
out, Dresden?
She asked curiously. He raised a tablet from under his arm and tapped a few buttons. I did, and the act was still mine that took your sister away, but what I found may interest you. He handed the tablet to her as security footage started playing, showing an open portal inside a room Alcya didn't recognize. This footage is from the headquarters of the Sharp Gang. After I caused the explosion, I eventually turned myself over to them. They then used a device they possessed at the time to open portals to my realm and go looking for survivors. As he spoke, Alcya's throat closed up. She watched Delilah come through the portal, alongside another woman with Overseer runes on her neck. They were both clearly badly injured. They had a brief interaction before they each teleported separately away. It seems they were both wounded by the explosions, but whatever her own powers may be, this other Overseer managed to keep them both alive long enough to find the open Sharp Gang portals and come through so they could then transport to their respective home realms.
So that's what
I'm not
happened.
yet certain who this other Overseer is, as I do not recognize her, but her injuries in this footage do not look as fatal as Delilah's were, meaning it is likely she is still alive. I'm not sure if it is something that would appeal to you, but I would, of course, be willing to do what I can to locate her and allow you to meet her.
Okay.
Alcya scrubbed back the footage and paused it, looking at Delilah. It was hard to see her in a clearly pained state, but it was also nice to see her again, and clearly from the footage she appreciated what this other Overseer had done for her.
But who was
Alcya
that
handed the
other
tablet back.
Overseer?
Sure, if you can find her,
Who?
I would like to thank her. Even if all she got me was a few more minutes with Delilah, that feels like a lot now, and I'm grateful for it. By the way, now that I'm helping the LAFF kids transition into school here, I'm gonna be busier, so I think you should take Val home.
Are you certain?
You
Alcya
with that?
hugged the creature's neck, but then stepped back.
Yeah, bring her back to visit, but I think it's time you take her. Maybe she can help keep an eye on Ludum and rip her in half if she tries anything.
Nice. I also just realized Jake technically got the Finn treatment. And the Finn from Adventure Time had his arm ripped off. And I know, Jake had his cut off, not ripped off. But all in all, they lost the exact same arm.
Dresden nodded,
And it
clearly
was replaced
uncertain,
with a ghost arm, technically.
but very
Ow.
pleased as Val walked up beside him again. I admittedly have missed having Val around. This is very kind of you. Kinder than you need be to me. She sighed.
Yeah, well, for a genocidal murderer, you're pretty okay, I guess. I definitely don't believe someone like Ludum can ever be redeemed, but maybe someone like you can. He chuckled.
Again, that is kinder than you need be to me,
Agreed.
but I do truly appreciate it.
Alcya did still miss her sister, but she also felt she was getting a chance to be just like Delilah.
She was getting to be a kind, supportive helper to the new students while becoming a better one herself. She knew that, like how Jake's family was watching him from somewhere, Delilah was watching her too,
from the life
prouder
beyond.
than ever at who her sister was becoming and how she was living her life. While Alcya and the original Mavericks were helping integrate the new students, they were also going to be doing a lot more of their learning in the field moving forward. They had
Sweet.
proven themselves to be progressing much faster than Evangeline had anticipated when the experimental class had been made. With the Archons out there ravaging the multiverse, and now the threat of whatever Tarsa was cooking up still looming, there needed to be as many teams of heroes out
And forget
protecting
Paul.
people as possible. The Mavericks would be joining the Sharp Gang on some of their missions, and even be going on some solo ones themselves.
Ooh,
If they could
sweet.
take on Eloise Ludum, then clearly they were ready for some bigger challenges. The one friendly Archon, Toralei, had figured out how to remove Ludum's Overseer abilities and most of her other powers, though her retractable tassel arm remained. They ended up making a
it's
sleeve
fine.
to go over it that she couldn't remove herself to keep her arm in arm shape, preventing her from turning it into a cascade of dangerously sharp tassels again and hurting herself or anyone else at the RAS Foundation. It was offered to Professor Goggins to take on her abilities as the overseer of her dimension, since he'd expressed interest in it in the past, but surprisingly he refused.
Oh.
Having powers would defeat the whole purpose of what I teach, that even if you ain't got no superhuman strengths, you can outlast, outdo, outfight anyone if you've got your mindset right. I'll stay hard without no stupid powers.
Whatever you say, Goggins.
So, Evangeline took on the overseer abilities herself. Ludum's school would be used for more elaborate and extensive combat training sessions, though much safer ones than Ludum ever ran. They were even temporarily using her school as housing for some of the LAFF students who had fought back against the Sharp Gang in the final battle. They'd been given the offer to either be sent home to their own dimensions and worlds, or to start learning from Tahe professors and potentially transition into being full-fledged Tahe students. Some of them seemed hopeless, but Evangeline didn't know the meaning of the word. Sterling, Kate, and a few other Sharp Gang members were coming to visit Jake every day, but he was doing fine. Better than fine, even. He had heard Anna's words to him and had consciously decided to come back to his body. But Jake said
I actually kind of like it when it's something like that. And, like, the dude Spitter has a chance to go on and live in peace, or get back to kicking ass. And it's like, you know what? Nah, I want to go kick ass. Mom, Dad, brother, love you guys. Let's go kick ass.
said he'd only gotten that message after he'd spent what felt like a full day with his family. Despite
that
the
was
pain
nice.
and fear that had preceded the experience, Jake now had a whole new set of memories with his family to comfort him further anytime he missed them. Oddly, when he decided
Really
he wanted
nice.
to go back to his body, he'd heard a voice say, "Good choice, Jake. The Eldrin multiverse is gonna need every good healer it can get.
Ooh, Yorick?
Eldrorak is gonna start remembering things soon, which means he's probably gonna get a lot more desperate."
Oh, crap.
Jake still didn't know who'd said that, or what the voice meant about the leader of the Archons remembering something. But
Yeah,
immediately
what do they
after
mean?
Jake heard those words, he was back in his body in the arena. Nobody else at Tahe or in the Sharp Gang knew what those words meant either, but they all accepted that it was a warning they needed to heed.
Definitely.
Thankfully, Jake had some new upgrades that would help him be an even better healer for his allies. His new gem-formed arm was a bit finicky. Sometimes he could pick stuff up with it, but sometimes it just went intangible and moved through things, so that
That
was a
is.
new challenge. But strangely, with his gem shattered, he could heal people far faster than before. It wasn't as
Oh.
fast as when he had Waru's upgrade,
That's
but
interesting.
a broken limb would be back to normal in under a minute with his help now. On top of that, he could send the fragments away from himself to his allies across a battlefield, and when they held a shard, their wounds would heal without Jake needing to be right next to them.
There
The
we
more
go.
shards he sent to someone, the faster they'd heal, though his arm
So he actually got an upgrade.
would diminish the more shards he sent away at once, and if he sent all 5 away, he wouldn't be able to fly anymore until they returned. Still, being able to heal people from a distance was a huge asset.
Hell yeah, it
They
is.
brought Copry to the school again to show him what had happened to Jake's gem, to see if he had any insights, but he'd simply said, "In truth, this is just as surprising to me as it is you.
You made
Whatever
the
has
gems.
happened to this gem, clearly you've been able to unlock new potential within it that I was not aware of. So, all I can say is, well done."
Okay, so yeah, the gyms are not alive, but I am gonna make that a new fan theory, that the gyms are alive.
After classes one night, both the Mavericks and new Mavericks gathered up with the upper years for a campfire. In a lull in the conversation, Waru said, "So are the Dark Mavericks gonna get to go on some of these Archon hunting missions too? 'Cause I know I want another shot at those tools." With a mouthful of marshmallow he'd cooked over his own head, Velignus said, "The Mavericks will not be going after the Archons themselves, but may get a shot against some of their generals and smaller armies. Prove that you can work well as a team, and I'm sure you'll get a shot at some fierce demons eventually."
There you
Good,
go.
Niseko said bluntly. "I want a shot at that pink one's army. She's using insects for evil, and I won't stand for that." Anna waved her
Hell
hand
yeah.
to the ground beneath her, without holding her breath, still surprised by her own upgrade.
I wonder how big a threat we'll actually get to go up against. I mean, Ludum thought she was as tough as an Archon in her own universe, and we managed to beat her.
And now she ain't
Maybe
shit.
with enough practice, we really could take on an Archon ourselves.
Amelia grinned. "I'd certainly like a shot at one myself eventually." Tale nodded. "Agreed. Plus I want to see what happens if one of us gets multiple upgrades at once. Think about it. Waru can give us an upgrade, Kalia can amplify our abilities further, and did
Oh,
I
yeah.
not hear that the Reaper from the Sharp Gang can give someone something called a Reaper Rise that is itself a powerful enhancement?"
Triple upgrades. Oh my god, this is gonna be epic as all hell.
Jake nodded. "That's true, but she can only do that to people she trusts unconditionally. I don't even know if Anna, Niseko, or me would qualify for that yet." Waru chuckled. "Plus, if my upgrade alone nearly makes your heart explode, you think all three of those upgrades in you at once is going to be something anybody's body can tolerate?"
Oh god,
Tali
no.
nudged him with her elbow. "With enough practice, yes." Waru nudged her back. "You'll just be taking yourself out before the Archons even get a shot at you." "Well, thankfully the Mavericks have a noble team leader with a fancy new arm with which to heal me quickly if I do take myself out." Jake chuckled and nodded assuringly. He was holding a marshmallow on a stick in the fire with one hand, but was more focused on his new glowing green appendage. While he had unlocked his new abilities with it in a very uncomfortable way, Jake couldn't
Yeah.
be more grateful for the upgrade. There was a lot of uncertainty coming in the Mavericks' future, and a lot more dangerous challenges. Still, being able to heal people faster would just ensure that he could do his job as the Mavericks' leader even better. He'd have
gonna
even
be
more
great.
power to ensure that the Mavericks always get back up.
And boom. Oh, look at that! It's a full team roster picture. Oh, I don't know what you'd call it, but yes, it's every Maverick. Boom! Badass.
And so, for a second week in a row, another Popcross series that's been running for a year comes to an end.
Oh,
I
wow,
love
it
how
has
both
been a while.
Starseed Psyche and the Trismegistus Academy came together, but whew boy, writing back-to-back finales was something. I originally planned on
bet.
starting up the next two original series, which I've announced in the past, the Book of Bayou Knights and Mytholethal Pantheon Reapers, at the beginning of December, but now I'm thinking I'm going to push it back a little bit more and start both of
Take your
those up in
time.
January and the new year. The rest of this year, I'm going to take it a little bit easier. Going to give the Realm of Hopeful Horrors a bit of time to breathe. I've been working on it lately, and it's more anthology-based,
Yeah,
so
it's
there's
got
not
two
quite as
already.
much creative
Well,
pressure
three.
having to keep track of character arcs moving through it. Going to do a bunch of pop culture videos, and next week I'm actually going on vacation. There will be videos on
Oh,
Monday
you
and
just saw
Friday.
it,
I
man.
won't be in the comment section on Friday, and the following Monday there won't be a video released. And then we'll be back to the usual schedule. But I know by taking a little bit of time from the longer running series off, I'm going to be super excited to get into them in early January and give them
Hell
all
yeah.
they deserve. Like I said with Starseed Psyche, don't hold your breath for a book release of the Trismegistus Academy. I've got some other book stuff in the works right now that
Oh,
I've got to do
nice.
before I edit Trismegistus and Starseed. I don't know which of those I'll start with first, but both of them are really long and are going to take a while to edit once I do get to them, but I'll try to keep people updated with what's going on. Anyway, besides that, that's all for today, except of course for ending this video on some kind of
Positive and
post-credit scene.
spider. Oh.
Not to question you, but
Hydrorex and Elderock. Oh, I was about to say the whole, positive and inspiring note, but no. Post-credit scene.
is this really necessary? If we just get Psychopandal's help, he can go into her mind.
You think I need help?
Do you forget who I am?
Oh my.
She will tell us in short time what we want to know.
I will tell you nothing.
And that's what happened to Hall. So Kaiju Rex said he had to grab something. She disappeared near the end of the fight. So Kaiju just went yoink and ran off with her.
Do your worst. Even if you did manage to find her, you will never defeat the Arcanic Goddess.
They're looking for
She will be
Tulsa.
awaiting your arrival so she can strip you of your powers and...
You will tell us. We will find her, and she will regret ever deigning to grant herself a lofty title she has no claim to.
Oh,
Whether I rid her of her flesh myself or have the scythe of another strip it from her, Tarsa can no longer hide from the reaping that comes for her.
oh god, this is gonna be badass. But like you said, he's taking a break. So that's gonna be the end of today's video, and I hope you all enjoyed. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more. Link to the original will be in the description below, and I'll see all of you next time when we flick back on. Till then, this is Fox, signing out. Peace.